Hello YouTube, my name is Ian Scott and this is my 55-gallon fancy goldfish tank. So as you can see, I love all 13 of my fancy goldfish. They're very interactive and they've been trained that way with food exercises. So they've been trained to follow you all around the tank and I love them for that. So this is a far shot of my 55-gallon fancy goldfish tank. As I said, there are 13 of them in there, and I love each and every one of them. So let's go through the things I have to make my fish tank run properly. Number one would be this Marineland Penguin 350. Yes, this is the one with the bio wheels. It has two kind of media cartridges, which I know I'm going to get rid of eventually. But for right now, I'm just rinsing them out. I think they have a couple more rinses left, excuse my finger, until I have to just completely throw them out. So yes, I love this filter. I got it from PetSmart. Believe it or not, they price match at PetSmart. I didn't know that. They price match this filter to like $25. And this is like a $50 filter as far as what the retail said. My bio wheels are still spinning. I know some people have a problem with those. Some people say sometimes they stop spinning. Only thing I don't like about them is that they're a little too delicate. As you can see, the one on the left is kind of torn, but it's still spinning. I know the tear causes it to spin slower than the one on the right, the bio wheel on the right. So right now I'm just closing that up. Now I'm sure you're wondering, what does this filter look like from the side? So here it is. It's not chunky. Matter of fact, my filter could even go closer to the wall. So it has these two weird inputs. This is the first one. It's not a skimmer. It doesn't clean the surface. And this is the bottom one. I try to keep them both just wide open and clean. Yeah. I also have a air pump in this fish tank. It's one of the stronger ones. And it is connected to this long style like air stone and this sponge filter. I know everyone has a sponge filter. This one's mine. So yeah, I don't think sponge filters can make up for mechanical filtration, but it's always good to have. Bacteria can grow on it, so that's good. And it also helps with like the oxygenating the water for the fish. So definitely want to make sure they have the right amount of oxygen, considering they're really overstocked. This is my LED light for it. I just hung it from the ceiling. It's like a garage light. So it just keeps them nice and bright where you can see them. So I feel like all of my fish, except for the two lion heads I got today, all of them are kind of trained in a way that they just come up to me, my hand. If I put my hand in the tank, they're gonna come up and nibble at it, and I love that about them. The only thing about fancy goldfish is you have to be very gentle with them. They're very delicate. Like that bubble eye, his left eye not so long ago popped, and it's growing back. This telescope butterfly, one of his right back fin is kind of cut because of the water change I did today. Somehow it happened then, but they're all good fish. And this is my favorite, one of my favorite, this kind of tan telescope butterfly. He's really cool. And this bubble eye fish, he's really interactive too. I do have 4 calico fantail fancy goldfish in here, and I do have 2 gold, well really orange fantail fancy goldfish in here. And then I have this, I have a black Moor. He's always cute, like he's just so adorable. And that's one of the 2 lion heads I got recently. He's coming along. He's new, so he doesn't know to come up to my hand. This is my Aranda, the one with the red head. Not the one in my hand. He just swam away. The one nibbling me right now is A fantail fancy goldfish that kind of looks like an Aranda, but he's not. This one's the Aranda. That one with the red on top. And they actually feel really soft. I love that about them. They're really soft. Because this tank is technically overstocked, I do water changes all the time. I did one today. And they're even trained to chase me from one side of the aquarium to the next. Excuse me. So yeah. So for my for my substrate, I have sand. I think sand's great. All the poop sits on top. So you don't have to really dig through the bottom where as if you had like rocks or something, you would kind of have to really vacuum the entire substrate. But they're definitely trained well. I love them. Um, and I don't know, like I just really love my goldfish. Like, okay, now the fantails I got from PetSmart. PetSmart didn't have the greatest, goldfish. They just don't. That bubble eye, that Aranda, that telescope butterfly, I got all three of those from a pet store in Riverdale, Georgia called Pets World. They have great fish, exotic fish. In my opinion, these are exotic fish. Now, this, along with another lionhead fancy goldfish, I got them from a pet store in Jonesboro called, what's the name? I don't even remember. I think it's Fish Bowls. Excuse me, Fish Bowls. So this is the other lionhead. He's pretty cool. I know they're going to come around. They've been in here for literally like one day. They're going to come around. I know they're going to come around. So a lot of people tend to believe that for every fancy goldfish, for the first one you have in a tank, you need 20 gallons. And for every other one you add, you need an extra 10. So if you had two, you would need a 30-gallon tank. Well, this is a 55-gallon tank. It has a hang-on back filter and a sponge filter, and they seem to be doing great. I just have to do more frequent water changes. So a lot of people have fake plants, real plants, maybe little air toys in their fish tank. These are some of the fake plants that I have. I took them out because number one, my tank is overcrowded. So this is just another place where poop and bad bacteria can grow and, be stored, and I don't want that. Another thing is these can be very damaging to your goldfish. They can be very harmful. Goldfish, fancy goldfish especially, are very clumsy, and they don't really have a sense of danger sometimes, or sometimes even awareness. Like my black moor and my telescope butterfly, they're kind of like a little slow compared to the other fish that are not as egg shaped. And I don't know if you can see or not, but this little plant in particularly is very sharp and could easily damage any of the fins on your goldfish. So I just wouldn't recommend them, especially if you already have an overcrowded tank. It's just not a good idea. I almost forgot. I also have these two long artificial plants. They're also very sharp and pointy at the ends. So this is my air pump, and it provides oxygen bubbles for my fish tank. It is the Tetra Whisper 60 air pump, and it takes 120 volts. So it's strong. Another important piece of machinery that I have with my aquarium is this kind of magnetic glass cleaner. And as you can see, the goldfish have no sense of danger that this strong magnet could kill them and crush their little bodies. So watch out for that. So this kind of magnetic glass scraper, it was from PetSmart. It was about $20, and it's really strong. Like, it's super strong. You kind of have to be careful, because if I was a fish, I kind of wouldn't want to be slapped in the head with this strong magnetic block. It could really hurt them. It could really Imagine if one of your fish actually got caught between this magnet. And they've been trained to come to any type of movement, so it kind of puts me in a rock, between a rock and a hard place. So I have to be extra careful. So as you can see, my sand isn't too poopy, or it doesn't look, oh, look at the line head. But the sand, in my opinion, is pretty clean. Now, if I would have had all those artificial plants in there, it would have basically hidden the dirt and the poop. So I don't like to keep it in there at all. Yeah, but the sand makes them happy. Food. I feed my fancy goldfish to tetrafin goldfish flakes. It has a clean and clear water formula, nutritionally balanced diet for optimal health, color, and vitality. It has a net weight of 22 ounces and 62 grams. So they love this stuff. They love these flakes. So yeah, nutritionally balanced diet for goldfish. Patent ProCare formula helps support fish's immune system for optimal health and long life. So this is good stuff. I'm sure if you're not a scientist, you're not interested in that last little part, but it says to feed them for enough food that they can eat in for that one setting, that 1 minute. And as I said before, I do use fish as a means to train them in order so they come right up to you. And this fish food even has a little phone number that you can call, I guess, for whatever reason. So this is what the food looks like. It's just little flakes. I've had this for a long time. I've had these flakes for a long time. They're old, but they're not expired yet. So this is the food that I feed them. So here's just an example of how I train them, which is really not the best because I'm holding the camera. But as you can see, with my finger, I wet my finger and just dip it in the flakes, and somehow the texture of the flake just sticks to my wet finger. And again, here's what the food looks like. So these are my tap water conditioners. They're both the same things. They're API tap water conditioners. The one on the right is extra strength. I rarely use it. It's not expired. It expires in 2021. I rarely use the one on the right. The one on the left is the one that I feel more comfortable using. Anytime I'm doing water changes, I just, put a couple of drops in there, maybe like 5 or 6 drops. It does have instructions, but I kind of just go off what I feel is necessary. So this next item here is a parasite remedy. It's organic. It's said to not have a lot of chemicals, and it is safe for fresh water and salt water. I'm not gonna lie, I tried to use it one time to get this spot off my fish. I don't think it necessarily worked. I think the fish just healed itself on its own. So in between water changes, I use this Tetra Water Clarifier just to clear up any fogginess or cloudiness in my tank. It works great. I trust the brand, and actually on the top of it, it shows you exactly how much to put in it based off the instructions on the back, and it works really good. Of all the chemicals that I use, this one is one of the better ones, but I don't use it a lot. I try to stay away from shortcut chemicals like this. I feel like if it's to the point where you really need to use this, just go ahead and do a water change. But if I'm feeling lazy, I will definitely put some of this in it, and it will clear it right on up. Don't judge me, but this is my gravel cleaner. I'm going to buy another one. It's just at the time, I just had these random items laying around my house, my fish tank room. I just used some old hose, some PVC pipe, duct tape, and one of those small cranberry bottles that's clear, so I can make sure I'm not sucking up too much sand, and it works. But I am going to replace it with a better one. Again, here you can see my goldfish swimming up to me. They just feel great. Having goldfish is a wonderful thing. They're a great pet. They are the pigs of the water. Like they produce a lot of waste, like a lot. So I do have to do a lot of water changes. But hey, I'm water changing this water no more than once a week. Anything over that's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. And that's only a 1/3 water change. And here they're following me to the other side of the tank. If you can notice, the 2 lion heads I have are not coming up because they're kind of new, so they're not really used to the whole idea of having a human put their hand in the tank. So that's them, all 13 of them. I actually wanted a... Oh yeah, I'm getting some Ryukin. I'm getting some Ryukin to put in this tank. There are no Ryukin and there are no Ranchus. If there's any other fish that I'm missing, I have the fantail, I have the telescope butterfly, the blackmore, the lionhead, the I don't know, like I just want to collect all of the fancy goldfish. The Aranda, I have an Aranda in there. I have a bubble eye. My goal is to have every type of fancy goldfish in this tank. These are the 2 new lion heads I was telling you guys about. They're going to be great. I'm sure they're going to feel great in my hand.
And if you come closer,
and you can see that right eye had popped on that bubble eye.
Very active.
And this is what the tank looked like before when I didn't have those 2 lion head fish. It's nice. It's very aesthetically pleasing, but sometimes I have to ask myself, is this what's best for the fish? Because those long plants, all they're doing is limiting the amount of surface area the fish have to swim around. That's all it's truly doing. Yeah. It's just me and my fish. It's a great hobby.
Over the horizon, over the horizon. Whoa.
So in conclusion, fancy goldfish are great fish to have. Rules are meant to be broken, which is why I have so many of these fancy goldfish in here right now. So this is my tank with the ornaments in it. I'm not going to keep them in there. I'm not going to keep them in there because, truth be told, my butterfly telescope, his fin, and my black moor, which to me they're the same fish, just different color, their fins kind of got torn during the water change I did today. So that really just breaks my heart to know that their fins are torn now. Hopefully they'll grow back. Nobody wants to look at shredded fish tails or shredded dorsal fins. So thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment. Until next time, guys, this is Ian Scott signing out. And don't forget to leave a comment.